we think about the concept of you are what you do and apply that to the desire to become more aligned with your feminine energy, then it stands to reason that your hobbies have a really big impact on whether or not they contribute to either activating your feminine energy or hindering it. If you're new here, I'm Amanda, and I am passionate about helping women like you thrive in your feminine energy. So today we're diving into how you can activate your feminine energy through your hobbies. We're talking about hobbies that act as an investment in personal growth and fulfillment and alignment with your feminine energy. And as a really quick overview, feminine energy is all about intuition, creativity, softness, effortlessness, ease, a sense of peace, and being present. Just doing for the sake of pleasure, which is the opposite of masculine energy, which is action-based, task-oriented, and focused on rules and results. And we all have both of these energies within us, but so many women, likely you yourself, are suffering from operating more so in our masculine energy due to all of the demands in our life. And that imbalance leads to burnout, unhappiness, and feeling like you're living a life that isn't the one meant for you because you are out of alignment with your true self. We see working women often push themselves too hard, focusing on goals and productivity, almost to a detriment, which can be exhausting. And mothers often fall into a routine of constant doing, neglecting their own needs and interests. And for those of us who are working mothers, well, you can just double up on all of those tendencies. And there is so much to healing your wounded feminine energy, where way more than I will be able to cover in this video. And frankly, actual healing goes far, far beyond the scope of this video. So you're welcome after this to check out the many videos on my channel that dive way deeper into that topic. But having hobbies that will specifically help to activate that feminine energy will allow you to reconnect with yourself and start to balance out your overpowering masculine energy and feel more aligned with your feminine energy. Because here's the thing, if you don't have meaningful hobbies, you will fill that time, you will fill that extra time in your life with things that actually pull you further out of your feminine energy. Things like doom scrolling, watching the toxic news, or binge eating junk food because you're just bored and trying to get a dopamine hit from the most convenient thing possible. The hobbies that I'm sharing today all have characteristics that support activating your feminine energy specifically, and I'll explain how when I talk about them individually because they all affect it in slightly different ways. But I want to say something right off the bat. I want to say this. Anything that makes you feel happy and aligned with the youest version of you possible is a hobby that you should definitely be doing, because feminine energy is all about being in a natural flow. It's about authenticity and alignment. Just be careful that you don't confuse something that you think you enjoy, but which is actually toxic, like relaxing by scrolling for hours or drinking too much. Hi again, welcome again. I'm Amanda, a busy full-time working mom, and I teach women just like you how to thrive in your feminine energy despite all the masculine demands in your life. And below you'll find a link to sign up for my free weekly newsletter where I share simple tips to activate your feminine energy and help you become more aligned with the youest version of you possible. Check it out. So really quick, what makes a hobby one that activates your feminine energy? Well, it's something first and foremost that you love, right? That's number one, because forcing yourself or exercising toxic discipline is very masculine. That is not what we're after. A hobby that activates your feminine energy will generally allow you to tap into your creativity, sensuality, connection, or introspection. So now that we understand the making of a hobby that activates your feminine energy, here are some examples. We are starting off strong with a hobby that has such a positive impact on my life, body, mind, and soul, and that's yoga. But really, any exercise that gets you into a flow state like dance or bar or Pilates will be amazing. I think there's something really special about the breathwork piece of yoga that really works for me, but any form of exercise or dance that activates that flow state will be awesome for you. Now, exercise that's more high intensity might be something that you love, and that's reason enough to do it, honestly, but just know that something like that will raise your cortisol levels, which will work against you if your primary goal is activating your feminine energy. Next is anything that uses your hands and allows for creative expression, like drawing or painting or pottery work, anything like that. Because this, of course, allows you to tap into your creativity, but also potentially your sensuality, depending on exactly what you're doing. And something that's more repetitive in nature, like crochet or knitting or adult coloring books, can be very relaxing and therapeutic. The repetitive nature is super calming to the nervous system, and of course, you are creating something which is very feminine in nature. And then we have journaling or writing, like poetry or creative fiction. And that kind of activity can be a very cathartic release. It allows you to connect with your inner thoughts and sort through them. And a woman who is in her feminine energy is emotionally regulated, and journaling is an extremely effective way to do that. Now, here's one of my favorites by far, and it's to take dates by yourself. Go to lunch or dinner or a cafe or pedicure, whatever. A woman who's in her feminine energy enjoys time by herself and cherishes it. She has the confidence to enjoy her own company, especially in public. So take yourself out to lunch. Go see a romantic movie alone. And ask yourself if there's anything that you love to do with your friends or your partner, but never or rarely do alone. And then make a date with yourself to do it alone, by yourself. Not only will it make you appear more confident, but it will actually make you more confident, because confidence comes from proving to yourself that you can do the things that you once thought you could not. Next is reading, which has always been a near and dear hobby all throughout my life ever since I was young, and I think a lot of us can relate to that, whether we are currently voracious readers or not. I think so many of us were avid readers in our childhood or adolescence. Reading allows you to use your imagination and get lost in worlds beyond this one. And it can also put you into that feminine energy, particularly with genres like fantasy or romance. Fantasy romance or romantasy is my favorite genre. And there's nothing cozier than reading, and it's such an easy activity to romanticize with lighting candles and enjoying a glass of wine or a homemade latte or playing ambient music or even choosing where you read. So that's a really great one to help activate your feminine energy. Gardening or caring for indoor plants is an excellent hobby for your feminine energy, because nurturing and caring for things is an inherently feminine quality and one that will definitely activate that energy. And even just being in and or interacting with nature is one of the best ways to activate your feminine energy. Maybe you even grow flowers that you can then cut and then bring into your home, because even just looking at and smelling those gorgeous flowers and having something beautiful and from nature like that in your home will help activate that feminine energy. And speaking of nature and the impact that it has on feminine energy, this isn't really a specific hobby, but grounding can be really powerful for activating that energy. If you're not familiar, grounding is when you walk or stand or sit in the grass barefoot. And like I just mentioned, connecting with nature is one of the best ways to activate your feminine energy. So if you compare that with any of these other hobbies, that is going to be really impactful. Next is spending time with girlfriends. By itself, spending time with women, especially those who are themselves in their feminine energy, will activate your own feminine energy. But you can really activate it by doing something like indulging in a nice dinner with fabulous cocktails, or pampering yourselves, or going dancing or shopping. I don't know if it's just because it is so stereotypically feminine to love shopping or what, but going shopping always activates my feminine energy, especially if I get to do it with a girlfriend. Next, we have cooking and baking, particularly from scratch. This also taps into the benefits of nurturing if you're making food for others, but this one is great because it's a very mindful and sensual process. I recently heard the term slow food, and the concept really resonated with me, which is maybe silly because really all it is just being the opposite of fast food, but I think it was more so the idea of the intentionality and slowing down the preparation process of your food and making as much from scratch as possible. I have been really intentional about slowing down in all aspects of my and my family's life lately. So while I was already making most of our meals myself and hardly ever getting fast food, it was a really nice reminder to focus on the process and intentionally slowing it down rather than just cooking as a means to an end. Next, we have regularly taking baths or soaks in a hot tub, which is of course naturally relaxing, and that in and of itself is going to help activate your feminine energy. But there's also another specific benefit to submerging yourself into the water, and that is that water is fluid and adaptable. It embodies the receptive and intuitive qualities associated with the feminine. So as you soak, there's a natural calming effect that washes over you and encourages a sense of introspection, which fosters a connection to your inner self and emotions. So likewise, doing just about anything next to a body of water, like a river or on a beach, will do wonders for your feminine energy. Reading, enjoying a picnic, lunch, or just taking a walk along the shore in silence and focusing on everything that's available to your senses to take in will really do wonders for you. Next, we have pampering, be it at home, like your skincare routine, or doing the big shower. If you know, you know. You know, when you do your hair mask, you do the full shave, exfoliate, face mask, everything, the works. Or if you're treating yourself to actual spa treatments, facials, saunas, pedicures, whatever. This is twofold because anything that makes you feel more beautiful and confident will immediately activate your feminine energy, but also just the simple act of taking care of yourself and nurturing yourself, regardless of the impact that it has on your physical appearance, will support your feminine energy. And lastly, we have scrapbooking and photography, and you could take up both as new complementary hobbies or just one of the two. And not only do you get to be creative and romanticize your life with this hobby, but in the end, you have a tangible catalog of your memories, and I think that is amazing. Hobbies are so important, and I know it can feel like you don't have time for them, but you need to really challenge yourself and ask if that's actually true, no matter how busy your life is, and I know that it is. I mean, I specifically make content for women with busy lives, and how to become more aligned with your feminine energy despite all of that busyness that I know you have in your life. You do have some time that you could dedicate to these kinds of hobbies that will enrich your life. And the harsh truth is that you're probably just currently filling that time with things that are unintentionally taking you out of your feminine energy, which is okay because now you know better and you can do better. So it's important that you figure out how to make time for them, because meaningful hobbies will actually enhance your life and allow you to tap into your feminine energy. And that kind of shift is life-changing. I mean it. And sure, taking up crochet will not change your life in and of itself, but beginning to fill your days with things like that, things that make you feel aligned with who you are, who you know you are in your soul, who you long to be, who you maybe have buried under all of that overwhelm of life for far too long, and start to eliminate the things that do not serve you, that will change your entire life. I can promise you that. So dedicate some time to trying new hobbies and try a bunch of different ones to see what makes you feel amazing. And also take this information and apply it to how you spend your time with others. Instead of meeting your best friend for burgers, go for a sunset walk in the park. Or maybe instead of seeing a horror movie together that will raise your cortisol levels, meet for pedicures or go shopping at a cozy bookstore. Or dress up and go for espresso martinis. I love those. Don't forget to check out the description box below and sign up for my free weekly newsletter where I share simple tips to get in your feminine energy, encouragement, and anything under the sun that will help make your life easier, more enjoyable, and get you more aligned with yourself. And next, I recommend this video for how to become more feminine. It's all about why that matters to you, because hint, it's not about becoming more feminine for anyone else's benefit other than your own. Share your favorite hobbies with us in the comment section below, because I know people are looking for some. So many women that I talk to, they want to have hobbies, but they just don't know what to try. I look forward to talking to you next time, and thank you so much for being here. Be sure to subscribe for more videos about embracing your feminine energy and living the life of your dreams. Stay aligned.